Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. We just hit 47,000 subscribers. Let's try to hit 50K by election day. Please like this video down below and subscribe to the channel. And today we have to talk about what is going on with all of this fake news we've been seeing. We've been seeing a lot of fake news, a lot of these journos deciding to report these stories about Donald Trump with these so-called quotes with no real person to back it up. They say, oh, I have 10 anonymous sources. Oh, I have 25 anonymous sources that say it's fake. It's got the same amount of merit as these people do. And now it's being reported that the Republicans are suspecting that the disputed anonymous story that was about Trump disrespecting fallen war vets, they made up this fake story. It's absolutely disgusting, of Trump saying all these horrible things about our dead veterans, which contradicts his record in office. Now a lot of people are saying it's being planted by the Biden campaign, which makes sense. We saw a lot of advertisements coming out from the Biden campaign just hours after this so-called quote dropped. And why exactly would that have been the case? Possibly because Biden's campaign was involved with the creation of this story. But why would Biden be creating fake stories about Trump? Why would Biden be campaigning in states that polls have going to him by 5 points or more if he's actually up in the polls by that many points? My answer is because he's really not up in the polls by that many points, and that his campaign is scared, and that his internals are more representative of the Democracy Institute and Trafalgar than they are representative of CBS News, YouGov, Marist, or Quinnipiac, like many of the election mafia shills on Twitter have been talking about. And we do know there's a lot of shady stuff going on. They're saying that Biden could have used, and again, this is a theory, Biden could have used Goldberg's pal, Conor Lamb, to amplify the story. Conor Lamb is in a swing state, and there's a whole other scandal with Conor Lamb, as many people are reporting that Jake Tapper was telling the opponent to run in a different district or something like that. It's a whole big mess, and that would be major collusion. So we see this happening, and this is what the Democrats are doing within the media. They are using the notion that Trump somehow has disdain for the Vietnam War veterans, disdain for John McCain, and they're trying to twist it into saying that Trump thinks that dead soldiers are terrible people and says terrible things about them, which runs contrary to a lot of his record in office, record that he spent helping our veterans. And it's just showing that they're using certain things to play with the mind of Americans. Just like all the fake sexual assault claims levied at Donald Trump after that tape broke out on the Access Hollywood bus. And they're doing it because they think that Trump has disrespected veterans in the past, as I've said before, because he said John McCain was a loser and that Trump preferred veterans that were not captured, which was kind of a subtle joke. But the fact is, John McCain, whether you like his politics or his wartime or not, was a loser. Trump called Mitt Romney a loser because John McCain lost the election very badly. In fact, he almost lost the state of Missouri and the state of Montana, states that could not have any chance at going blue today. It was an abysmal election for the Republican Party, partially because John McCain did not have a spine. John McCain was also a traitor to the Republican Party. He specifically voted against the health care bill right before he left office, and in doing so, helped the Democrats get a massive victory in 2018. I don't think Trump not liking McCain has any saying on what he thinks of actual veterans. A lot of people are also saying Trump dodged the Vietnam War draft 5 times, which again is a conspiracy theory, and if we want to play it both ways, Joe Biden also got the same amount of deferments from the Vietnam War that Donald Trump got. We don't see a lot of people on the left talking about that. These are the people that claim to pretend to like veterans. They actually don't care whatsoever. And now we're seeing these other quotes being generated, this one from Trump's former attorney Michael Cohen, and I actually heard this a couple years back, but Donald Trump had disputed a lot of these quotes made in the Cohen book. I believe Cohen is releasing a new book. Cohen claimed that Donald Trump said back in 2015, "I will never get the Hispanic vote like the blacks. They're too stupid to vote for Trump. They're not my people," he said. Now, the problem with this is Donald Trump, in that same interview, right after his controversial introduction speech where he, said the thing about the rape coming from Mexico. Trump said that he would go out there and he would win the Latino vote. Trump has always been a very big optimist on the topic. Trump has done nothing when he's gotten to office except work around the clock. In fact, work too much in terms of outreach to minorities, so much outreach to groups that won't really vote for him anyways, to the point where it might endanger his re-election campaign in accordance to not spending enough time and effort working on getting accomplishments that affect his core base. So you can see that this is obviously false. This is not true. This has been out for a while. Doesn't really add up with reality. But my question is, why exactly are they recycling these fake quotes from 2 years ago now? Why are they doing this now? We know that Trump goes out of his way for these demographics a lot more than necessary, especially for a Republican. No Republican has had this much outreach to minority communities in American history. And it's because the Democrats are trying to energize minority voters. Even though minorities are not going to come out in large numbers to vote for Trump, they're not really enthused for Joe Biden. So they have to manufacture these stories. You're seeing a similar thing with veterans. A lot of the reason why they're doing it is to increase the number of military absentee ballots against Donald Trump. This is what they're doing. We've had 12 people go on the record saying this story is false. Although there's like 10 anonymous sources that say it's true. We don't know who these people are. And if they find one or two people to come forward within the next coming days, how do we really know to trust them or not? Basically, I won't believe this story whatsoever unless there is concrete proof or a tape or something like that, and I don't really believe there is. I believe this is just one of these last-ditch efforts by the Biden campaign to try to bring Trump down. They don't have a deepfake software that's perfected enough to get Trump saying things like the N-word or other terrible things. They don't have a deepfake software that's in-depth enough, so this is what they're going to. They're running to this level to try and manufacture fake Trump quotes, the fake news, these journos, these sick bastards in the news. This is what they're trying to do, trying to influence the outcome of the election. These people, honestly, if we lived in a real, free, and fair country, these people would be brought to justice. If this story is turned out to be false, the people at the Atlantic should be tried and put in prison, if anything, in attempt to interfere with the election. If we can do it to the Russians, we sure as hell should be able to charge our own media with interfering in the election, because this is a disgrace. This is a disgrace to democracy. It's the people on the left that always talk about democracy, yet they're the ones that are working around the clock trying to undermine it at every single point in the election cycle, especially when it's orange man bad. And a lot of people on the left will believe these stories no matter what. They think Trump is the worst person ever in history, but is it really going to make a difference at the end? Probably not. Again, there are people that hate things that Donald Trump says. That's true. They're not a majority of the population. But these people were not going to vote for him to begin with. And a lot of the people in this election that are undecided are also largely deaf to this kind of stuff. They don't care. They care about policies. They care about certain things, certain actions, if it is the candidate that is not in office, especially when you look at what's going on now. A lot of people simply care about the issues. How are they going to get back on their feet after the pandemic? How are they going to be safe from the rioters? And how can they do that when Biden wants to shut the country down again, end all coal, oil, natural gas, and fracking, and have his campaign staffers and VP pick donate to a bail fund to bail out the violent rioters? So I think that's what a lot of the undecided voters are thinking about. This story impacts the election zero way whatsoever. It's also ironic to see a lot of the people on the left. These are the same people that spit on the Vietnam War veterans when they returned home, and now they're pretending to like the Vietnam War and the veterans just because it makes Blumph look bad. Trump has made the left go full neocon, and that's what's going to happen to the Democrat Party, especially if Trump wins. A lot of the neocons, the Republicans that are endorsing Joe Biden, a lot of them are just neocons, and hopefully they'll never come back to the party. I wouldn't want to be in the same party as these people. So that's why it's important, for the sake of the Republican Party and the sake of its future, that we get out and vote for Donald Trump on November 3rd, 2020, or beforehand if you're sending in a mail-in ballot or doing early voting in person. Preferably everyone votes in person, so make sure you get registered to vote as long as you will be 18 by the election. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media, become a member, donate to the Patreon, or subscribe. Star links in description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.